Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Got sun in my eyes. I am Dalton. This is Armstead Farms, the Footline Farm YouTube channel. Today, we are going to be taking one of our genomic heifers up to Lamb Farms up in Oakfield, New York, to get IVF'd. We will give you more information on the heifer as I get her loaded up, and we are headed in that direction. Also, it is the week that school starts, so my daughter will be starting kindergarten this week, which means no daycare. So she's right now tagging along with her grandfather feeding cows, and then she's gonna ride with us up to Oakfield, spend a little bit of time there. Maybe we'll go on get some lunch or something on the way home. Should be fun. To start the day off though, I need to give loop shots to at least a couple pens until I run out of time here. So follow along, should be a fun day. For those of you guys that regularly watch the channel, you know that every Tuesday morning we give Ludolite shots and GnRH shots. Our Dairy Comp 305 prints us off a list of every cow and every pen that needs the shot. So we go through, we use Estromate. It's gonna be 2 cc's of Estromate per cow. So got one in heat right here. Have to write her down too, but so we're gonna go through and get as much of that done before I've got to go as we can. It is so much nicer giving shots or working with the cows in general when it's cooled off like this. Cows are so much more comfortable. A lot more cows laying down. They're not bunching up. It's incredibly easier. That's poor English. It's much easier working with cows when they're spaced out like this, when they're happy, when they're comfortable. Except you get pain in the butts like these two who are in heat, following me around, keep butting me in the back, but that's part of the gig, huh, girls? Sure looks like we got 3 in heat. At 54.41 looks like she could be in heat as well. But the way you can tell when a cow's in heat, their backs are all rubbed up like this from riding each other, and they'll be in what's called a stand-in heat. So a cow will jump on top of the other cow's back. That cow will just stand there. She won't try to run around. She won't try to get away. In fact, you can see that cow has been in such a good standing heat, it's actually kind of rubbing her tail head and her hips there raw. It'll rub the skin right off of them. Same with this cow here. That means they are in really good standing heats, which means they are ready to be bred. We prefer when cows come in natural heats like this and don't need to be brought into heat. It's just we find the conceptions a little bit better. But you know, you get these cows that are out there 60 plus days in milk that haven't shown a natural heat. That's when we go through and we give them a shot of this Estromate just to get them cycling, get them going, so we can get them bred. Yeah, much nicer working in a barn when it's in the 60s like this. All right, so we are off a little later than we wanted to be, but we are off. So the 2 heifers, one of them is a Phoenix out of 6070 who is a captain daughter, and the other one is a Thorson out of 6070, obviously again captain daughter. So the Thorson captain cross and the Phoenix captain cross, I believe that's, I know the Phoenix is out of 6070. I'm fairly certain the other one was out of 67 as well. We're breeding them, well, we're gonna IVF them to a bull called Watchman. I don't know much about him. I will look it up and put it on this video so you guys can see. He is a CMEX bull. But yeah, we're gonna take these 2 heifers up. Both heifers, one's 3296 GTPI, and she was 800 net merit, and the other one was 3309 GTPI, and she was just shy of 1,000 net merit. So pretty good numbers, at least by our herd standards here. So we're gonna go up and we're gonna IVF them, and hopefully we can have the same luck we've had the last few flushes. Last few flushes have worked out pretty well for us. In fact, I know at least the Phoenix daughter on the trailer was an embryo herself. I don't know about the Thorson, but I know that Phoenix out of 6070, she was an embryo. We've got many daughters with that same cross from that same flush. So hopefully it all works out. You know, we can have some more luck. And like I said, I don't know much about this Watchman bull. I'll talk to Jack a little bit about her, and we'll go from there. All right, we're about 5 minutes out now. Looks like they're chopping hay up here. And the corn actually looks maybe even a tad drier than ours at home. I'd be willing to bet corn's gonna be flying up here, you know, within 10 days. Granted, it is at home too. I bet we're chopping in the next 10 days, but. Oh, it's a little windy. Yeah, it's a little windy out today, Reagan said. But we're heading on up here. It is nice out here. There's just big open ground. The further west you head, the flatter it gets, and it kind of opens up a bit. Granted, we're coming into town now, so this isn't the greatest of examples, but got a load of haylage in front of us here. I'd imagine that's headed to lambs. We're headed to the heifer facility. That's where they do the IVF'ing, so we probably aren't going where this truck's headed, but maybe we will. Who knows? Yeah, it looks like he's turning and heading down to the main farm here. Shopping?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I believe those buildings over there are their calf facilities. There we go. What do we got here? Air Seeder 9420R. Nice. We actually toured those two barns right there before we built our new barn to look at the ceiling that they had in there. We've got the lowered ceiling, so we came up and looked at them. Yeah, we're just a few minutes out now. What we got over here? Dump cards, got some manure equipment there. Big fent. Real big fent. Nice. Yeah, see, the corn looks, the ears look like they're dried down more than ours. Alrighty, they do the IVF over there in that room there. See, we got our one waiting. The other one's in there now. We're just out here looking around while we're waiting. They do such a nice job up here. It's always fun to come up and watch. Shavings, bedding the stalls. The right amount of animals per pen. Big water tubs. There's just lots of space. It's fun to look at the bulls that they're using too. They've got so many bulls and stud and cows that do so well at all levels. It's just fun to see. All right, animals are loaded up and we are headed back home. Those of you guys who aren't real familiar with IVF'ing, so basically there's a series of drugs that you give the animal and then they come up, so they go into the cow and there's numerous follicles. They have a little tube that basically just sucks the fluid out of the follicles, and the eggs essentially come with the fluid. They were telling me you don't want too big of follicles because sometimes the fluid comes too fast, it'll leave the egg behind, and you also don't want too small of follicles because sometimes there's not enough fluid to get the egg to come with it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Every time I come up here, I kind of learn a little more about it. So yeah, they take those, they send them off to a lab. I don't know the science behind all that, but he said they will email us next Tuesday, so a week from today, with the exact results of how many embryos that we're gonna have. They take the semen and they sent it with the eggs. So again, we use that bull Watchman. He's a C-Mex bull. I'll throw him up.
Daddy,
By now you've...
Daddy, I'm gonna eat some air.
Okay, you goofball. So yeah, they're gonna email us. They'll let us know how many embryos we've got, at which time we'll probably put a handful of them in then, and we'll usually end up freezing a handful. So with embryos, you can freeze them and then put them in literally whatever time you want. We have our vet, Craig Lamb. He comes and puts them in for us. Yeah, like I said, we've had quite a bit of success. So those of you guys, again, who aren't real familiar are probably wondering, why IVF cows? Why not just breed your cows? So basically, we're taking our top genomic animals, so our animals with the most genetic potential on paper, based off the numbers, to be the most profitable and productive animals we can. So we'll take our best few animals and just say we get 15 embryos. We can then turn around and put those 15 embryos into our least productive, least genetic potentialed animals. So we'll take 15 animals who are essentially the bottom of our herd and put our best animals' embryos into them. So our calves that are out of those poor cows will end up being calves out of our best cows, essentially. So it's just a way to speed up our genetic progress. No, we're not eating cows. I mean, you like burgers, don't you? Well, burgers are cows, aren't they? What about steaks? Do you like steaks?
No.
Yes, you do.
Steak is chicken.
Steak is not chicken. Chicken is chicken.
What?
Yeah. And what's pork?
What?
What's pork?
Pig.
Pork is pig. Chicken is chicken. Beef is cows.
I love all of beef.
Yeah. Yeah, we love beef. So yeah, we're basically just speeding up our genetic progress on the farm by taking our poorest animals and putting embryos from our best animals into them. So it's an expensive process, but again, when you can improve your herd more rapidly like that, that leads to, again, higher production and better animals. And we firmly believe that. You still have to breed cows based off of, you have to know your cows. You have to know the bulls that you're breeding them to. You can't just strictly go off the numbers because you'll end up getting an ugly animal. But on average, we have found breeding to genomics has definitely increased our production, has definitely increased our components specifically. And our animals are still good looking animals. They still have good feet and legs. They still have really good udders. They're just not phenotypically as correct as a show cow, which honestly I don't want on our farm anyways. We've went down this before. I love showing cows. I love show cows in general, but they're not feasible on a commercial dairy. They're more, if you're a smaller farm, milking in a tie stall barn, more where you can pamper every specific cow, because show cows need pampering. They're just like show horses. They take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort. And show cows can be good cows. Show cows can be productive cows. But when you look at the numbers, a type bull is almost always negative in milk. A type bull is almost always negative in DPR, so that's daughter pregnancy rate. We found on our farm, our show cows that we do have are very, very difficult to get bred. Very difficult, like significantly harder than any other of our genomic commercial animals. And that's, at the end of the day, that's money. You want your animals to get bred back so they can come back in and have a calf and continue to make milk. That's why our voluntary waiting period is 60 days in milk. Once an animal's been in milk for 60 days after having a calf, we're looking to get them bred back so they can have another one. A dairy cow is pregnant for 9 months, the same as a human. And you want them to have an animal every year. Yes, we are humans, that is correct. After a few months, an animal's production will start to dip off and just slowly decline. So say it takes you 5 times to get a cow pregnant. By the time she's pregnant, she's all the way, she's further down that productive curve. And then you got 9 months after that, or 7 months before you dry them off. So they're going to make less milk on average because it takes them longer to get bred. And it doesn't take too many animals doing that to bring your entire herd average down, which brings your profitability and production down across the board. So that's why we stick with genomics and try to stay away from type animals. Also, again, I'm repeating myself. Show cows are big. They're tall. They're lanky. They just don't hold up in a freestyle barn as well. They get banged up in the stalls. They get banged up in the parlor. This is just my experience. There's no science behind this, but I also think they're total sissies compared to the other cows. They're just like, they're like the spoiled rich kid out on the playground that just gets his butt whooped. Is that fair to say? I think that's a pretty good comparison in my mind. But again, I'm not crapping on show cows. I like show cows. Just for our farm, for our operation, this is the route we take because that is what works best for us. The fun part about dairy farming, there is a endless amount of ways to skin the cat in every aspect of the operation. Breeding, cropping, what bedding you use, what manure, what equipment you run, the management practices. There's literally, I dare say there's no two farms that do it the same. We're like, no, never mind. I almost said we're like snowflakes, and there's no two snowflakes the same, but I'm not about to call myself a snowflake. We ate all the goldfish. I think we're gonna go get some lunch. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do we want for lunch?
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken? All right, we're gonna go get some barbecue chicken. We'll see you guys when we're at home. I hope I didn't screw anything up there. That was a lot of information, a lot of rambling. Thanks for sticking with me. That's almost a 9-minute educational / potentially uneducational rant. So I apologize for that. Thanks for sticking around. We got something big up here. Have to see what this unit is. Some kind of a vegetable picker of some sort. I'm not sure. Up here there's a lot of produce. Potentially a cabbage picker, maybe? I don't know. I see. The only reason I say cabbage is because there's a ton of cabbage right around this area that I've seen that looks like it's probably ready. I don't like cabbage. I don't know a lot about cabbage. But I'd be willing to bet we're knocking on the door. Maybe it was a potato picker or something too. Again, don't quote me, because those are potatoes. Or beets, one or the other. I think they're potatoes. And there's a potato truck right here. Yeah, it looks like they just got done picking something there. Yeah, I don't know, some kind of produce picker. This is Mighty Acres. I've never met anybody up here, but that's quite an operation. I know they send a ton of produce down to the canning factory down by my house. There's a canning factory that cans sweet corn, potatoes, beets, yams, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, pretty cool. Something different. I would love to someday be able to get up here and ride with people and make a video of picking produce like that. That would be a lot of fun for me. All right, we're gonna do a pizza review. Batavia's Original, Main Street, Batavia. This is my personal favorite pizza. I dare say this is, in my opinion, the best pizza I've ever had in Western New York. Big slices, doughy, thick dough. Really, really good cheese. Everything about it's good. That's my favorite pizza. You like the pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, so on a score of 1 to 10, 1 being yucky, 10 being the best pizza you've ever had. What score do you give it? What do you think? Is it the best pizza you ever had?
Yes.
Okay, so if 10's the best, what score do you give it? Just give it a number.
10,000.
A 10,000? Technically, that's a rookie score. It's an even number, but you heard it here first. Batavia's Original gets a 10,000 out of 10. So, kind of a big deal. We're going to do a bonus ricotta cookie review as well. Because ricotta cookies are the best.
Yeah, it's delicious.
We're going to double down on 10,000 out of 10. 10,000 out of 10. Highly recommend. That's review.
Hi.
All right, next up on the docket here, we got those heifers all unloaded, but just went through the backup feed truck here, topped off all the fluids, blew out the air filter, got it greased up, got oil put in it, and we're getting ready to send her here for a few days. Our main feed truck, the auxiliary transmission went out on it. I was making a terrible clunking noise, so he's gonna get that fixed up. Our mechanic, he figured probably 3 days, 4 days was his estimate. So getting this thing greased up and ready to go. I actually really like this old truck. It's just completely wore out, but I can give you some of the benefits of it here shortly. But this is it's got the reel in it. So that's how that mixes. This big reel just spins and it flips the feed over, pushes it up into those augers. The bottom auger goes to the front, top auger pushes it back. So that's how it mixes front to back. And then obviously the big reel mixes it the opposite direction. So it does a really good job mixing, does a really good job consistently unloading the feed, where the big vertical auger sometimes likes to throw feed. It's not as consistent, but it does handle smaller loads better as well than the vertical auger. The vertical auger just takes a lot less maintenance. You can put bigger loads in the vertical auger. There's no chains in the vertical auger, where this one has a whole row of chains in the back here. And this one has probably double the grease fittings. So that's why we went to the vertical auger on our new one instead of this real augie. But there are pros and cons to both. I personally like the way this one feeds and mixes better. Not so much mixes. They both do a good job mixing. Just like I said, in smaller loads, which we don't do so much of anymore. So if we were doing smaller loads, that's where that really comes into, into play for being handy. But we don't really run small loads anymore, so the big one does a great job on the big loads. So you can see the walking beams are what's really wore out and shot on this truck. We have welded new liners in it before. As you can see, that's where the weld marks were, burnt the paint off. And yeah, she's just old, but does a really, really good job. It's a great backup. So hopefully I didn't jinx us and she can really run her heart out here for a few days. Stretch her legs out. Usually the way our projects go, it's a few days, but turns into a couple weeks. So we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case here. We don't need to be dealing with backup feed truck issues when we get into corn and want to be hustling and getting stuff done. The only thing it lacks is power steering fluid. It does have a power steering fluid leak. Tyler's running an apple for me to get me some of that. So yeah, I am going to air up this tire too. Little squatty. Yeah, I haven't talked to you guys in a few days. Ta-da! Going through the corn head. Checking gearboxes. We got the spout extension on. So with corn, you put on a longer spout because the trucks have to be on the outside of the corn rows. We got a 10-row corn head, so you need a longer spout. And on hay, we take it out and we put a shorter one in. It's just easier to blow the hay. You don't need to blow it way out there. Also for tight corners and stuff, we like the shorter spout a little bit better. So we have not put the kernel processor in. That is right here. That is next on the docket. There is a bearing Last year we had to replace this one. Didn't know there's a grease fitting there. We took that bearing out last year. It scared the hell out of me. So yeah, we're still probably 8 to 10 days out from chopping cow feed. Once we get the processor in that chopper, we might go open up a field or chop. You know, we've got a couple little 6-acre fields. We might chop 1 or 2 of them or chop a load a day just to feed the heifers. The heifers, I'm not as worried about quality or if it's the right moisture. We're just looking to make a turd with the heifers. So that's, sorry, turn my radio off. 8 to 10 days on the corn. We'll probably be starting corn, but in the next possibly few days, we might start chopping for, like I said, for heifers, just to make sure the chopper's good to go, make sure the bugs are worked out of it. Have a spot we can maybe spread some sand, spread some pack manure, you know, get rid of that. Just get some acres off. Just get a little taste of corn season, whether it be right or wrong. That's what we're gonna do. So don't question that. That's what we're gonna do. Oh, what am I doing right now? I'm gonna go check the maternity pen, and then I'm gonna get the second blade put on our 9420. We don't use that one hardly at all, but we're gonna get it clipped on. We're getting a bunch of haylage from a neighbor here at the end of the week, so I'm gonna want both tractors, and we're gonna want both tractors hooked up for corn regardless. So yeah, just a beautiful day. It is 75 and sunny. 5th cutting's coming on strong. Yeah. Had to pull the 9560 out of the way. It's parked in front of her in the shed. We'll pull this out and park this right here for now. Drill should be all ready to go for cover crops. Take my sunglasses off so I can see. Oil's good. Looks like we could use a gallon or 2 of coolant. For sure. Have to see if I can sneak by the Chevy here, or if I'll have to get out and move the truck. I think I can squeeze in there. So the way this works, you just lower the blade down, it hooks on the top. When it lifts up good and square, you get out, and there's a set of pins that go on the bottom to hold the bottom tight. On this one, the bottom does not like to go on good and square. That's what can be kind of fun about that. I think it's gotten bent at one point or the other. It's been doing better. Last year we had new bushings and stuff, bushings and pins put in this blade. That was before we bought the 9560 with the blade on it, so we weren't sure before that. This was our only packing tractor, push tractor. So, and I see bees. Gosh darn, everything I've touched up here this year has been covered in bees. And a little mouse, see him? Spooked the mouse. Gosh darn it, I gotta deal with bees again. You know what, Tyler's in town. I'm gonna call him, tell him to bring me some bee spray. I'm done with these things. I don't see the bees yet. I don't know where they went. Pull it down a little bit more. Can't reach. Like that. So the top sets in here, holds it. You guys can't really pin comes through there. It's on that handle. It runs, it shuts that side and this side. So, yeah, good to go. Hook up the hoses and we'll be all set. Well, we got it all hooked up. We're gonna take her down, put her back in the shed, throw some grease in her. She'll be ready to go. Uncle Todd's headed out right now with the sprayer. He's gonna go out and spray all of our new seedings. I have had questions before. We do not plant Roundup Ready alfalfa, but we still are able to spray it to kill off our volunteer wheat that comes back. We sprayed Pursuit and 2,4-D, is what I was told. Pursuit and 2,4-D knocks back the wheat. Just what I was told. I'm just a messenger. But still check with your crop specialists before you do that. But that's what Uncle Todd just told me. Pursuit and 2,4-D wipes out the volunteer alfalfa. Or I can't talk. Pursuit 2,4-D wipes out the volunteer wheat that comes back. Just the seeds that have gotten through the combine. Then they grow in and they smother out the alfalfa. So by killing that, it allows your alfalfa plants to come in healthier with less pressure. Yeah, so that'll be nice, especially this year with as flat as the wheat was, how the wheat was all down. Our fields look like a freshly seeded wheat field right now. I'm super curious to see what they look like after spraying them. They're gonna look dead. The alfalfa is in there, I promise. But yeah, the wheat is insane how much volunteer wheat came through this year. So yep, actually he's downloading up the sprayer right now. We got a water hookup right there by the parlor, so that's where he loads up. So anyways guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the video here. Just got some basic chores left to do and then wrap it up. State Fair is officially over. I went up there yesterday and the day before and helped volunteer at the birthing center. My wife helps put that on. That was a lot of fun. It's a great time. It was color breeds week. Holsteins were the previous week. So I walked through the barns, but I didn't really know much about the farms or the people that we were looking at, but did walk through. A lot of nice cows, especially jerseys. There was a lot of nice jerseys up there. So yeah, we had fun with that. And another quick reminder, guys, the auction will start tomorrow for that stuff that we are selling. So our 8640, our chisel plow, our hay elevator, our lowboy trailer, our 4-star tedder, and our hoof trimming chute will be up on RTI Auctions. It's an online auction. It starts tomorrow and it ends a week from tomorrow. So a week from today, I think. So next Tuesday, the auction will be done. Hop on there, bid on stuff. If you have any questions, my number will be on the auction's website. Give me a shout. I'll be sure to send you pictures or videos or whatever it is that you guys want to know about the equipment. So yeah, that's that. Be sure to do that. But other than that, guys, we're going to call it the end of the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next one. Rock on.